Okay, I had to come on here. I was sitting here trying to mind my business. It's cold, y'all. But I'm in our little shed. My kids call it the woman room outside. Anywho, I've been trying to debate for a while now if I wanted to come on here and speak or if I wanted to just be quiet because God's journey is a tough one, y'all. People, I don't really get into all the denominations and classifications and all of that. You know, that stuff is just, to me, now, I'm keeping it 100, that stuff is just distractions from who we supposed to be really, really, really focusing on, which is God. And so I just been watching everything and just sitting back, and I'm like, if you are an intuitive, if you are sensitive, if you are emotional, if you are an empath, if you chosen call, whatever you want to call yourselves, baby, I don't care about none of the labels, is what I'm trying to say. Then you've been feeling off. Like something ain't quite right. You ain't really been wanting to do the things you usually do. You've been wanting to rest more. You've been focusing on your health, and if you haven't been, you've been needing to. You need to be focusing on your well-being. I'm noticing a lot more people are talking about their emotional childhood wounds. That's a part of it because it's time for us to break free of that because the enemy has a stronghold over the generation right now because of childhood wounds. Now, y'all ain't listening. Pay attention. Pay attention. If you are struggling with your childhood wounds, meaning you don't want to deal with them, so you partying, you drinking, you smoking, you numbing, you working, you hustling and getting them bands, as y'all like to say. You doing everything you can do to not think about it. I don't want to think about it. Or you picking apart the pieces that fit your lifestyle and say, oh, my parent was like this, so it's okay if I'm like this, even though it's harming you. God said, no, it's time. It's time. Watching those people in California go through losing their homes and just watching it burn, it's just biblical to me. But at the same time, I still feel them. That stuff is sad. Memories you can't get back. You a lot of those things you can't replace. A lot of homes that were burned were older homes. They're not in the new generation system of the computers and the data and the save and the files and none of that. That stuff was just in a memory book with plastic, So I don't know about y'all, but I ain't shifting nothing over to my babies that I've experienced negatively in my childhood. All the best parts of my childhood, they can get it. All the things I wish I had, they gonna get it. They getting it. I'm trying to be free, y'all. Yeah, put your stuff on. Put your coat, your hat, and your gloves. Sage. Okay. And so it's time for y'all to break free of that mess. You're gonna have to. You not going to listen. All jokes aside, you're going to keep repeating them same cycles in the relationships if you don't deal with your childhood wounds. You're going to keep messing up in your finances if you don't deal with your childhood wounds. Don't let nothing in this life that ain't even long. This is temporary. You ain't taking none of this with you. I ain't seen none of those things you using to numb yourself in the casket with nobody. Don't let it take you away from your babies. It's time for the generation to shift. We are the elders for the younger ones, for the YNs, for your babies, for your nieces, for your nephews, for mine. We are the elders, and that's just the bottom line. Now, either we going to get our shit together. I know this is a godly message, but I'm just going to keep it frank. Either we going to get our shit together or the kids going to repeat the same thing. But listen here. These kids in a different generation, they got different technology. So the type of demons we fought, baby, they got theirs triple. You hear me? So if you know how to pray, if you know how to fast, and I'm talking about for yourself first, if you know how to repent, if you know how to own your stuff, matter of fact, just take some accountability. Just take some accountability. That's it. Your baby come to you and say, hey, mom, dad, you hurt my feelings. Okay, baby, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. You don't want nobody to hurt your feelings. Acknowledge it. I had to go through that with mine. I had to humble myself. Sometimes us parents, we don't want to humble ourselves. We just don't. And you do not have time to focus on. If you walked away from negativity in your past, you don't got time to look back to that. You got to deal with the trauma that you brought with you from that past. Now, you got to fix it. You got to heal it. You just got to deal. So if you got to go to therapy, my nose running, y'all. Ooh, it's cold out here. Ooh. If you got to go to therapy, if you need a journal, prayer, reading the Bible, self-help books, whatever works for you. I'm not trying to put y'all in a category. It's just there's plenty out there. So you can't tell me there's no way God can't speak to you. Because ultimately, what I said is about a relationship with him. Period. Okay. Yeah, that's all I got to say. Bye, y'all.